In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to sort data in your SQL queries. So here we have a query to select all the customers from the customers table. If you look at the query result, you can see that our customers are sorted by their ID. So we have customers 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. This is the default sort column, but we can always change this using the order by clause. But first, let me explain why the customer ID column is the default sort column. So first, I'm going to open up the navigator panel. On the left side, here's the customers table. Now let's click on this middle icon here that looks like a tool. This opens up our customers table in the design mode. So here we can change our columns. We can add new columns or remove existing ones or change their name or order and so on. Now, if you pay close attention, you can see a yellow key just before customer ID. This means that this column is the primary key column for this table. So in relational databases, every table should have a primary key column, and the values in that column should uniquely identify the records in that table. So back to our query window, you can see that the values in this column uniquely identify each customer. So the customer ID column is the primary key column in this table, and that is why when we write a query against this table, our customers are sorted by their ID by default. Now, let me show you how to sort customers by a different column. So here in the order by clause, we type out the name of another column, like first name. Let's execute the query. Now you can see our customers are no longer sorted by their ID. Instead, they're sorted by their first name in ascending order. Now, if you want to reverse the sort order, simply type out DESC, which is short for descending. Now, we are sorting these customers in descending order. Okay, we can also sort data by multiple columns. For example, let's say first we want to sort our customers based on their state, and then within each state, we want to sort them by their first name. So we type out multiple columns here, state and first name. Let's execute the query. Now you can see that the first state we have here is California, followed by Colorado. And now here in Florida, we have two customers, and these customers are sorted by their first name. Let's have a close look here. So first we have Amber, and then we have this other customer here. Now we can also use the descending argument anywhere here. For example, we can sort these customers by their state in descending order, and then sort them by their first name in ascending order, or once again, in descending order. So there are various ways we can sort data. Now, one of the differences between MySQL and other database management systems is that in MySQL, we can sort data by any columns, whether that column is in the select clause or not. For example, let's say we only want to select the first and last name for each customer. Now we can sort the result by any columns in this table. They don't have to be first name and last name. For example, we can sort them by their birth date. Take a look. So this is a valid query in MySQL, but other database management systems sometimes yell at you when you write a query like this. Now we can also sort data by an alias. For example, here in our select clause, let's add the number 10 and give it an alias as, let's say, points. So points is not a valid column in this table. It's simply an alias for an expression. In this case, a simple number. Now here we could have a complex mathematical expression. It doesn't really matter. We can still sort data by an alias. So we can order by points and then first name. Once again, this is a valid query from MySQL's point of view. Now, one last thing before we finish this tutorial. I've seen some tutorials that teach you how to sort data by column positions. For example, here we can order by 1 and 2, and that basically means sort the data by the first name and then the last name. So these are the order of these columns. If we execute this query, you can see that our customers are sorted by their first name and then the last name. While this approach works, it's something that you should avoid, because if in the future you come back here and add a new column in front of the first name column, let's say birth date. Now our customers are no longer sorted in the previous order. So sorting data by column positions produces unexpected results, and it's something that you should avoid. Instead, always sort by column names, like first name. All right, here's your exercise for this tutorial. In this database, we have this table called order items. where we can find the items for each order. Now, I've written a query that you cannot see here because that's the solution to the exercise I'm going to give you. That query produces this result. So we only have the items for the order with ID 2, and we have sorted these items based on the total price for each item. So the total price for each item equals quantity times unit price. In this case, the total price for product 1 is just over $18. So go ahead and write a query to select all the items for order with ID 2 and sort them by their total price in descending order. All right, let's select everything from order items where order ID equals 2. That returns all the items for this order. Now we want to make sure to sort them by their total price. So here in order by clause, we write an expression, quantity times unit price. This returns the total price for each item. And then we add the descending argument here. So once again, the expression that we use in the order by clause doesn't have to be a column name. It can be an alias or an arithmetic expression like this. Let's go ahead and execute this query. This is what we get. Now for clarity, I would like to add another column in the result. So let's say quantity times unit underline price. We give it an alias like total price. Let's execute the query. We can clearly see that this data is sorted by the total price in descending order. However, there is a bit of duplication in our query. We have repeated this expression in 2 places. So now we can simplify our order by clause by using an alias, that is total price. And we get the exact same result. Next, I'm going to show you how to limit the number of records returned from your queries.